Have you ever wondered what it really means to grow older? Not just in numbers, but in wisdom, in clarity, in purpose? What if turning 60 wasn't the beginning of the end, but the start of something far more meaningful? You've worked hard. You've raised families. You've faced loss and love, joy and grief. And now, as the noise of youth quiets, you're left with one powerful question. What now? In this video, we're not talking about retirement accounts or bucket lists. We're talking about something deeper. What to let go of so you can finally live the life you've earned. Because sometimes happiness isn't found in what you add, but in what you release. So stay with us. This isn't just a list. It's a guide to reclaiming joy, peace, and purpose in this chapter of life. And maybe, just maybe, one of these ideas will be the one that changes everything. All right, let's get started. Number one, stop saving out of fear. After 60, saving money should feel like security, not like fear. But I've seen too many people like Raymond, a retired engineer with over $2 million in the bank, who still couldn't bring himself to enjoy a simple weekend getaway. When I asked why, he said, "What if something happens?" It's a fair question, but it's one that often keeps us stuck. At this stage of life, you're not just saving for emergencies, you're saving for memories. And if your essential needs are already covered, it might be time to ask, what brings me joy right now? Let go of saving just for the sake of it. You worked hard to earn it. Now let it work for you. Take the trip. Treat your loved ones. Enjoy the fruit of your labor before it's too late to taste it. Before you move on to the next chapter. If this story sparks something in you, if it made you think of someone you love, or reminded you to live more freely, consider subscribing to our channel. And if you have a question, a thought, or simply want to let us know you're here, leave a comment below. Type the number 1. Sometimes that's all it takes to remind each other that we're not alone on this journey. We read every comment and we're here for you. Now let's keep going. Number 2, stop spending on what doesn't bring you joy. Nancy, 68, once told me, "I bought things just to feel something." That hit me, because too often spending becomes a reflex, not a reflection. After 60, your money should serve your spirit, not your habits. A new gadget might fade, but a weekend with a grandchild stays forever. So ask yourself before each purchase, does this bring me joy or just fill a moment? Spend with heart. Let go of guilt, pressure, and habit. Your time and wallet deserve better. I remember visiting Harold, a 72-year-old retired engineer, who showed me a closet filled with unopened packages, kitchen tools he never used, shoes still in boxes, books he never even flipped through. "I guess I thought they'd make me feel younger," he admitted with a shrug. But the truth was, they just made him feel emptier. Compare that to Marlene, 65, who chose to stop buying unnecessary decor and instead use that money to take a watercolor class every Thursday. "I never knew how much painting would light up my week," she told me, proudly showing me a soft blue seaside scene she just finished. That class didn't just give her joy, it gave her new friends, new stories, and a reason to look forward to tomorrow. Joy isn't found in things, it's found in meaning. Choose moments over merchandise. Choose connection over clutter. And remember, the best purchases are often the ones that don't come in a bag. Before we move on, if this chapter helped you think differently about how and why you spend, we'd love for you to subscribe. And if something resonated with you, drop us a note in the comments or simply type the number 2 to say, "I'm still here and I'm ready to spend with heart." We're grateful you're here with us. Number 3, stop trading time for money. There comes a moment in life when time becomes more valuable than any paycheck. And that moment often begins around 60. I once knew a man named Leonard. He had worked in logistics his entire life, 45 years of early mornings and long hours. He retired at 66 but picked up part-time consulting work shortly after. Not for joy, not for meaning, just out of habit. When I asked him why he kept working, he said, "I don't know who I am without a schedule." And that's the hidden truth. Sometimes we keep trading time for money, not because we need the money, but because we're afraid of the silence. But what if that silence was actually a doorway? a doorway to rediscover what inspires you, to spend slow afternoons with your grandchildren, to finally write that novel, or just to be. Your time after 60 is a currency far more limited and precious than dollars. Work if you love it. Work if it energizes you. But if it drains you or keeps you from living fully, maybe it's time to let go. Before we move on, if this chapter helped you reconsider how you're spending your time or brought someone to mind who might need this message, we invite you to subscribe. And we'd love to hear from you. Type the number 3 in the comments to let us know you're still with us on this journey, reflecting and growing. You're not alone, and you never have to be. Number 4, stop putting off experiences. There's a quiet lie we tell ourselves. I'll do it later. I met Sandra, 70, who had dreamed of visiting Ireland since she was a teenager. She collected books on Celtic history, learned a few Gaelic phrases, and bookmarked dozens of YouTube videos. But every year she'd say, next spring. Then came the fall her husband had a stroke. Suddenly, walking long distances or flying overseas was no longer a possibility. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I thought I had more time. That's the lesson. Someday isn't guaranteed. The road trip, the reunion, the painting class, the sunrise hike, don't wait for perfect timing. It rarely comes. Real life is always a little messy. Even a small experience, a day trip to a nearby town, dancing barefoot in your living room, can remind you that you're alive. You deserve memories, not just intentions. You deserve presence, not just plans. So don't wait. Start small. Start today. Before we move on, if this chapter nudged you to stop waiting and start living, we'd be honored if you subscribed. And if this resonated with you, leave a comment below. Maybe share your dream experience or just type the number 4 so we know you're still here, still hopeful, and still reaching for joy. We're cheering you on. Number 5, stop neglecting your health. Your health is the foundation that supports every other part of your life. And after 60, it's not something you can afford to treat as an afterthought. I once had a patient named Calvin. He was 73 and had just retired from a long career in public service. For years, he'd promised himself that once work was over, he'd finally get healthy, start walking, eat better, go in for regular checkups. But when that time came, inertia had already taken hold. It's hard to start, he told me. I feel like I waited too long. But it's never too late to begin caring for your body, not for perfection, but for possibility. A 2022 study published in The Lancet Healthy Longevity showed that people in their 60s and 70s who adopted small, consistent healthy habits, like 20 minutes of walking a day and reduced sugar intake, experienced significantly lower rates of chronic disease over the next decade. Your body doesn't need a complete overhaul. It needs consistency, kindness, movement, hydration, sleep. Start with a walk, a stretch, a salad. Start with a checkup you have been postponing. But whatever you do, start, because the best gift you can give your future self is the strength to keep showing up. Before we move on, if this chapter encouraged you to take even one small step toward better health, consider subscribing for more encouragement like this. And let us know in the comments how you're caring for yourself today, or simply type the number 5 to say, I'm still here and I'm choosing health. We believe in you. Number 6, stop worrying about what others think. At some point in life, we realize we've spent far too many years living through someone else's expectations. I remember a woman named Darlene. She was 65 and had always wanted to learn how to play the drums, but she kept putting it off. What will the neighbors think? She asked. What if I'm terrible? One day, her granddaughter gave her a pair of drumsticks for her birthday. For your dreams, the card said. That weekend, Darlene enrolled in a beginner's percussion class. She didn't just learn rhythm, she rediscovered freedom. You see, joy doesn't ask for permission, and fulfillment rarely comes from doing what others expect. Aging gives you a beautiful gift, the courage to stop explaining yourself. Wear the bold colors. Take up that hobby. Say no to events that drain you. Say yes to what lights you up. The more authentically you live, the more you inspire others to do the same. Before we move on, If this chapter made you reflect on the freedom that comes from letting go of judgment, we'd love for you to subscribe and be part of this community. And in the comments, share something you've always wanted to do, or simply type the number 6 to let us know you're still walking this road with us. Number 7, stop watching the doom and gloom. Let's be honest, most of us have fallen into the trap of watching too much news at some point, especially in retirement, when the TV is always on in the background and headlines seem louder than ever. But constant exposure to negativity comes at a cost, not just emotionally, but biologically. Studies have shown that chronic stress, even from media consumption, can elevate cortisol levels and increase the risk of anxiety and heart disease. I had a client once named Howard. Every morning he'd wake up and watch 3 hours of cable news. He knew every headline, every controversy, every crisis. But when I asked him how it made him feel, he said, worried, angry, irked. So we made a small change. 1 hour less of news, 1 hour more of music, walking, reading, or calling his daughter. After a month, he looked lighter. I feel like I can breathe again, he told me. Staying informed is important, but peace is important too. You can be aware without being overwhelmed. Choose sources that uplift, not just alarm. And remember, there's still beauty in the world. Kindness, laughter, growth. Turn off the noise when you need to. Tune back into your life. Before we move on, if this chapter gave you a new perspective on what you allow into your mind each day, we'd be honored if you subscribe to stay connected. And if you're still with us, drop a comment below or simply type the number 7 to let us know you're choosing peace over panic, light over noise. We're so glad you're here. Number 8, stop ignoring your financial plan. There are two extremes when it comes to money after retirement. Some ignored it completely, while others obsess over every penny. Neither brings peace. I once worked with a couple, Jack and Maria. Jack had spreadsheets for everything. He knew exactly how much they could spend each month down to the dollar. Maria, on the other hand, didn't want to think about money at all. It stressed her out, and this caused tension, not just between them, but within themselves. Because a strong financial plan is not about fear, it's about freedom. When you know where your money is, you know what's possible. You know when to say yes and when to say no with confidence, not guilt. You don't need to become a financial expert, but you do need to know what brings you security and what brings you joy. Because the goal is not to die with the highest balance, it's to live with the deepest sense of peace. Talk to a trusted advisor, review your needs, set your priorities, then close the folder and go live your life. Before we move on, if this chapter helped you rethink how you relate to money or inspired you to take a small step toward clarity, we invite you to subscribe. And feel free to leave a comment or just type the number 8 to let us know you're still with us, still building a life that feels truly yours. You deserve a future built on confidence, not fear. Number 9, stop living like you have forever. Here's the truth that most of us know deep down: time is not infinite. When I worked in hospice care, I would often ask patients near the end of their lives what they wish they had done differently. The most common answer: I wish I hadn't waited. Not waited to love, not waited to forgive, not waited to live. There was one man, Frank, who said to me, I spent my healthiest years worrying about things that never happened. And now that the end is here, I realize most of those worries weren't worth the time. Frank didn't say that with sadness. He said it with clarity. You don't have to wait until the final chapter to feel that kind of clarity. Make the phone call, say what needs to be said, book the trip, write the letter, wear the outfit. Whatever's on your heart, don't postpone it. Life isn't just about quantity of days, but the quality of the moments inside them. So don't live like you have forever. Live like today matters, because it does. If this chapter touched something deep in you or reminded you of life's fragile beauty, we'd be honored to walk beside you through more moments like this. Subscribe to stay connected. And if you're still with us, drop a comment below or simply type the number 9 to let us know this message reached you. And finally, let's take a moment to simply pause. Because if you've made it here, that means something has stirred in you. We've talked about fear and freedom, silence and home, saving and spending, holding on, and letting go. These aren't just tips for retirement. They're invitations to live more fully, more intentionally, starting right now. So ask yourself, what am I ready to release? What do I want to feel more of? Life after 60 isn't a waiting room. It's a stage, a garden, a blank page, and it's yours. You've earned the right to live boldly, gently, freely. So go, call the person, book the ticket, say yes, say no, be still, be loud, be you. And if this video gave you something, a feeling, a thought, a new direction, please consider giving something back. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss what comes next. Thank you for being here, and thank you for still choosing to grow. We'll see you in the next one.